Hey, Sunrise family. As we find ourselves in these just unknown circumstances, the greatest thing we can have is faith. There's a few verses in Habakkuk that I want to read over you to encourage you today. So this is Habakkuk 1, verse 5. Look among the nations and see, wonder and be astounded, for I am doing a work in your days that you would not believe if told. And we find ourselves in a time now that if somebody had told us a year ago that we'd be going through what we're going through now, we would have looked at them like, no, you're crazy. That would never happen. And yet here we are. And later in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4, God says this, that in the midst of all of this, the righteous shall live by his faith. And the question is not necessarily what is faith, because we all get that faith is a trust in something, but the real question is, what is our faith in? What are we holding to? What are we looking to that is the anchor for us in the midst of the unknown? So as you're watching this video, as I'm recording it, my wife is pregnant right now. We are expecting our second daughter, Esther, and as you're watching this, we will probably be holding Esther in our hands. So we're excited and anticipating the birth of our daughter. And that reminds me of a time when we were giving birth to Ruby, our first daughter, and we had her with a C-section. And that was a total unknown for us. Very similar to the current circumstances we are in. It's an unknown for all of us. Very different circumstances, but the same unknown. And my wife and I determined, just kind of while we were in the doctor's office, that we were going to let our anxiety be determined by the doctor. If the doctors and the nurses were calm, we could be calm because we knew we could trust them, that they were in control. Our faith in that moment was in God, but also in the immediate moment, we were looking to those doctors and those nurses to be the anchor for our anxiety level. And there was a point in Bethany's surgery when things were looking like they weren't going 100% smoothly, but the doctors and nurses, their anxiety level rose a little bit, but they were still calm. And so Bethany and I looked at each other like, it's okay. We can stay calm because we know that those who are in control, they are calm. And much in the same way, we have a great physician. We have our Lord and King Jesus in this time, that in the midst of this great unknown, we can live by faith. Because we know our great physician is calm, that none of this is out of his control, that this is all according to his will and his plan. And so, in the midst of this great unknown, have faith, walk in faith, because we will live by faith. Because Jesus is our great physician, he is our great anchor, he is the cornerstone of our faith. So walk in faith these days and trust in him, for we know he is good.